Can we just talk about that Rossi reveal in this latest with Story episode? This episode is basically the definition of if you don't kiss your homies on your mouth, are you really homies? So we now have an in-universe confirmation that not only do Will and him take a bath together every night, we also know who has the biggest schlong in that relationship. And the fact that Colette's face of just disbelief of, are you gonna tell me that this is secretly a girl? You got this secret girlfriend? No, it's a guy apparently. And the declaration of no one loves Will more than him. There's a couple of options that they're gonna go down. Either A, we just have the greatest broship in anime and I'm completely here for it. Or we're gonna go the route of this is an Elphiria clone, like an Elfie clone. We already know she can make multiples of herself. That was literally confirmed in the previous arc. But you may want to say, well, does she also pack a mean schlong? And I'd say, I hope so, but most likely no. What it is she can probably just change things to blend in. And either or will work for me, to be honest. Most likely, though, given the more, like, mysterious nature of this character, I have a feeling that it's just gonna be like, you know, Elphiria probably just been keeping an eye, make sure he's safe. She does seem very, like, convinced that he's doing well despite being on top of the tower, so if you could have eyes on the ground, that would make the most sense. But honestly, if they decide to make it completely just no, he has a homie down there who just loves him unconditionally, it's just like watching JoJo, baby. It may be a little questionable at times, but if your friendship with your bros ain't a little sus, is it really your bro after all? But man, what a 10 out of 10 episode as per usual. I have those live reactions over on Patreon. If you want to see my full and good thoughts on any of these with story episodes, it's going to be over there exclusively. So, I was expecting a very chill episode given we came off the ruckus of the past couple. And while I guess it technically would be considered chill, considering what we've been dealing with up to this point, it actually was a lot more eventful than I was giving credit to. Not only do they end the episode with not only our boy forming a party with the most powerful people, we have this one girl, drawing a blank on her name, the dude who got first place in the event last week. We have Julius and Sion, who are just, they are not happy, and of course Will, and this is a powerhouse squad, 100%. Colette obviously trying to tag along, which I don't know if that's allowed, but hey, she's doing it anyway. You watch after the credits, there's someone killing people who apparently will be on the path of where everyone's going down. But as our teacher says, you could literally gain every credit you need to pass by doing this well enough. So that basically gives our boy Will an out so he can, well, obviously pass, given that he's not the greatest on the magical side of things. And honestly, just seeing him this episode just get kind of that red carpet, you know, he's been picked on his whole life. And I'm glad that they gave us both sides. So on Will's side, he's just happy. He's like, is this what it's like to have friends? Is this what it's like not to be treated like the vermin and scum underneath your shoe? And then there's Colette saying, you guys have been bullying him your whole life. Ever since you knew him, you treated him like garbage. Do you think just being nice to him now because you realize he could beat all of your asses up is okay? Like, get the hell out of here. And I think some people might want to say it's a little too easy, it's a little too much of a gimmick or a joke. But the fact that they gave both perspectives, I think allows for either side to feel happy. You have Will just happy he's not being picked on for once. And then you have her who's kind of representing the side of like, you guys are just dicks, like... As soon as it's like basically realizing like, oh, you're picking on some nerdy kid because you think he's just like pathetic, and then he takes his shirt off at swim class and you realize he has a sleeper build, and now all the bitchy people who thought he was a nobody's like, ooh, he's muscular, so I'm gonna go try to feel him up. That's basically the equivalent of what some of these people are doing, but Will's just enjoying the fame, and honestly, I can't say I blame him. It was kind of hilarious. So it turns out not only did Julius get absolutely humiliated, beat up, and just destroyed in that event, he then had to become the busboy for the restaurant who he threw everything around in. And honestly, just seeing him absolutely pissed off and just humbled was brilliant. I can already tell, though, they're going to try to go the route that they did with Sion for me, where I quickly was like, oh, you know, Sion seemed to be a dick, but I've actually started to enjoy his character. Listen, I don't care if he saves 1 million babies in this arc or throughout the course of the show. I have the hater gene in me, and I'm committing to my hater ways that... Screw Julius. It doesn't matter what he does. He could save our boy's life and I'll say, yep, but you're still a prick. So just expect the hater to continue. That's all I'm saying. But it was also a very cute episode. And I like the idea that Colette, basically because now he's kind of becoming Miss Popular, she doesn't have a shot in hell, given that we already know where our boy's heart lies. But then again, if they don't go the route that this is a clone or like a scout or something for Elfie, maybe Elfie's not the true ship after all, and it's actually the bromance between these two, which would be hilarious. Honestly, I'd be down for that ending. But the idea that she tries to take him on a date, which basically will then get him away from these girls, she'll have a little quality time. He then tags along, and it was spicy, man. Like, I love the spice to that, because there's this moment when he comes back. I'm figuring, like, she's not going to get a drink at all. Nope, gives a drink to both of them, and I'm like, okay. And then he's like, yeah, I'll just share off my boys. And it just becomes so hot-headed, and I'm just like, what is going on? I'm expecting... I thought Will was going to quickly come back from going to the armory and see like a crater in the middle of town because they were throwing hands and doing magic spells and stuff. But nope. Instead, our boy gets recruited into like the Big Five, and honestly, just that whole dynamic was fantastic. And I appreciate the fact that literally the dude who got first place is putting Sion as well as Julius in this place, saying, hey, you guys are being sore losers. He kicked your ass. You guys are trying to argue that he'll get in the way. He's literally better than you. Sit down and shut the hell up and toss your coin into the hat. Let's form a party. And they basically do that. And that was just glorious to witness. I walked in thinking this was going to be a tame episode, and they gave me more laughs than I was expecting. The animation, honestly, it's different. But people are gonna, want to say, oh, last couple episodes way better animated. But not really, because if you look at how much the characters were moving in a mundane episode, this show's production is fire. It's legitimately one of the best produced shows of the season, top to bottom. And if they do not confirm a season 2 when this one ends, I will be incredibly disappointed, because this one deserves to run easily as long as Danmachi. I had my doubts at first. Like, I expected the show would be good, but I'm thinking, oh, I'm not going to get hooked in as quickly as I did with something like a Danmachi. But man, this author doesn't disappoint, man. He knows what he's doing. I mean, fantastic. This was, I was okay for a breathing room episode, and they gave me more laughs and thrills than I was expecting, and they already threw us into what could be a better arc than the previous arc, which is kind of crazy, because that whole event was absolutely bonkers. But I don't know. I mean, at worst, it might match or be slightly less entertaining, but even then, I mean, that's still going to be more entertaining than a lot of action-oriented arcs for a lot of these kind of dungeon crawler shows. Let me know your thoughts and feelings, though, down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here. Of course, ring that bell, and like I mentioned, we have those full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout-out. Alright, so today we got Sage Penguin, Sean Andrendino, Yishan Kao, Tyrone Johnson, Neil Vickers, Jenny Stiegel, and we also have Clubs. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and remember to kiss your homies on the mouth good night, because if you're not doing that, are you really homies? Have a good one.